Hello there. This is my honest review of the 2022 Telluride, which I have had for the past 3 years, purchased brand new, right at the heart of the pandemic when they were saying there was a shortage on chips, and when these vehicles were in high demand. This was one of the vehicles that attracted me. It was a couple things that attracted me to this video. One was it had a 100,000 mile warranty, and I'm right at the 100,000 mile warranty, just at about 100 miles from the 100,000 mile warranty expiring. So I want to just give an honest review of the vehicle. So, with regular maintenance, oil change, the suggested maintenance when you go to the dealership, this is the condition that my vehicle is currently in. I'll tell you about the recalls that we had and the major repairs that I had to have on it. But as you can see, just on the surface, the exterior, the main thing I'm proud of is the seats. The seats look good with the exception of the driver's seat, which I'm in here most of the time. The seats in the interior looks pretty good. Initially, when I brought it, I brought a mat that went all through the vehicle. So I think that preserved the carpet. We shall see. But the blinders are still working. The paint looks pretty good. That was one of the things that attracted me to the vehicle, that I believe that with the Nightfall edition, even with dings and dents, rocks, and so on and so forth, years later, the paint still will look attractive, even though it took a licking and kept on ticking. As you can see scrapes here, you can see lines there, but for the most part, it still looks good. Now, about a year and a half ago, I think from washing it and from the chemicals out the car wash, as you can see, the trimming faded, and I asked the dealership about it, and they said right now there was no solution that they can do. At the time that I asked, I'm not sure what they're doing now, but at the time I asked, there was no solution, and there was nothing that they could do about it. So as far as recalls, we had a couple recalls on this vehicle. One was, it was something within the seat that was causing fires to vehicles, and we had to take it in, and they had to replace, and they had to do something in order to keep the vehicle from igniting fire. That was one recall. Another recall was at one point, it didn't happen with my vehicle, but the vehicles were in park and they were still moving, so they had to adjust it where the emergency brake automatically come on when you park. So that was another recall. And then the other situation I had, I don't know if it was a recall, but they repaired it for free, was I took my vehicle in to get it repaired, and the rear shock was broke, and you could hear it bumping and bruising, and I don't know if it was a recall, but they replaced it for free. But other than that, I haven't had any major issues with the transmission or the engine or the electrical components, which, was my biggest concern. But just about 2 weeks ago, the engine light started coming on, and I took it to the dealership, and they said that they couldn't diagnose it because, number one, you had to pay to have it diagnosed. So I took it to another dealership the next day, and they said in order for them to diagnose it, the code would have to be on, the light would have to be on. Of course, it went out when I went to the dealership at the appointed time. So my honest review, I believe that, if it wasn't for the MSRP at the time I brought it, where dealerships were able to hike up the price, 10,000 plus, I think This would have been an excellent vehicle for me and my family. But now, I think my payments are just as even with the value of the car, which I was hoping to have some equity in the car by now. But if I went to sell it at this point, and y'all can see I'm in front of CarMax, I don't think they'd give me what I owe. And if they gave me close to what I owe, I probably still owe about $5,000, $7,000 by taking it to CarMax. And so that's the downside of it. But other than that, I believe that it's a solid vehicle. I believe I'm going to have some time with it. I believe that. We're at 100,000 miles. I'm looking to get another 200,000 miles out of it. We got to find out what that light is about sooner or later, the light coming on. But that is my honest review. That's my honest review. I have only took the vehicle out of the state twice, and it did really well on the road.